Boom, boom. How's going? How's going? It is I, your boy, TJ, and welcome to M5 Property Addicts, where we talk anything and everything around real estate. Yep, right. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about, can property be put in a trust? That is the question. I got a lot of emails around this, and I decided, let me answer it. Yes, can property be put in a trust? What is a property? So, any form of an asset. But today we talk about real estate, and the question there we're answering is, can property be put into a trust? Yes, it can. The short answer to this is yes. But maybe for some of our friends out there who actually don't know what a trust is, I am going to debug it a little bit so that we are all on the same page and we can all learn together and all make the same decisions that are wise. But I also want to put in a disclaimer, I am no trust expert. However, a very good friend of mine who wrote the book Prosperity Through Property, and his name is Jaco Grobler. And Jaco Grobler he's a tax, accounting, property expert. I've been reading his book that's called Prosperity Through Property, and he's been guiding quite a lot of people around trust and things like that. He understands those things better. I recommend that you reach out to him for those kind of things. But hold on. At least we should get a little bit of knowledge on our own before we go on and ask the experts, right? So you don't get to the expert and look dum-dum. But even though it's good to look dum-dum, because the experts are there to guide you. But I always say to people, before you go in and engage some experts, Google is there. Use Google. Ask a few questions to Google. Even if you don't know how to type, Google will help you. You can just press the sound there and say, what is a trust? And then that lady will respond to you and say, a trust, it is that. Even my own little child at home, she is doing that using Google. Now, what is a trust? A trust is a legal entity, right? You yourself, you're a legal entity, right? A company is a legal entity, and so does a trust. So a trust is a legal entity, right? It's a legal entity which is created to hold assets for the benefit of certain persons or people. That is the dictionary. Yeah, that is the dictionary definition of a trust. So it's an entity that you can hold assets, particularly for the benefit of certain people. So that's what a trust is. So if there's no benefit, then it's not a trust because you haven't defined those benefits, isn't it? If there's no assets, it's just an empty shell of a trust. But like again, I did say that my good friend Jaco Grobler, he's quite good around that. He's a CFA. He can help you to knit or to further understand the trust. He's got a book, and within that book, you can be able to reach out to him. So why would you want to put property in a trust? Well, property is an asset, isn't it? It is an asset, and the trust is actually a legal entity in which you can hold assets. So which means that this qualifies you. Once you have a trust, you can put the asset in that trust. But we then need to ask another question here to say, at what point then do you put your property in the trust? Well, when you're buying it, right? When you're buying it, it basically means that that's when you can put it in the trust. TJ, but I've already bought my property and now you're talking about this trust. So should I put it in a trust? Now, how can I do it? Well, remember, a trust is its own entity. So which means that it's separate from you. You as an individual are your own entity, and your trust is its own entity. So if you're going to be moving your property from your name because you bought it, and now you're going to put it into trust, well, it's just as good as selling from one entity to the next entity. However, the people that are extremely knowledgeable about this, they can be able to show you how it can be done, because there is many ways of skinning the cat. Depending on who you are, depending on what you're trying to achieve, they will be able to help you. But the bottom line is that when you are buying, that's the best time to do it. But let's say now you've bought already, and now you're thinking about protecting your asset, and you're wanting to put this property to benefit other people. Maybe this is your cats and dogs and your family members. I don't know. Whoever the beneficiaries are going to be, then you may want to consult some experts around that. Are there any costs associated with creating a trust? Yes, they are there. Plenty of them. You can get a trust from as low as 2K to as far as, the most I've seen is 15K. Yep, 15K on a trust. And one could ask the question, but TJ, why is the band so wide? Oh, it's just as good like as buying a car, Why can we get cars that are worth 100K and others are millions? It's what you get in the car, isn't it? That's what it is. And then you get other bras that are now flexing their muscle at the price stand, and they're talking about their trust that they bought for 1,000. That's cool. And they're telling you that you've been ripped off because you paid 10K. I am not promoting anybody right now. I'm just saying to you, when you get a trust, just make sure that it's the right thing, right? And it's the right thing for you, not for me, for you and your family. And I am answering the question, can property be put in a trust? Short answer is yes. And we are now just trying to navigate other things that are associated with that answer. What happens if you're to die? Well, that's the reason why you are actually wanting to have a trust. Because if you die, well, the trust didn't die. You died. And for that reason, the trust will live on. Because you are the one who died, not the... Is it sinking there? It's making sense. Yeah. Okay, good. Let me know. In the comments, let me know whether this is making sense. It took me a bit of time to understand all of this. I should say that. Because in the beginning, I would say, but why would I want to put stuff in my trust? Who owns that trust? I want to own my properties, right? But there's pros and cons of all of these entities. Now, would I buy properties in a trust? Yeah. I think as a direct question to me, the answer today would be no. Right? Why? Because I think that buying in a company is a better option for me. Right? But your options could be different from me. So it's always good then to consult the professionals versus where you are in life, where you want to go, and what particular property it is. Now that you've got a property in a trust, because we are answering the question, can I put a property in a trust? Yeah? Can property be put in a trust? That's the question that we're answering here. Now that the property is in a trust, so does it mean that the trust now needs to be operational? Yes. It's got also a balance sheet. It's got an income statement. Hold on. Does it mean that now it's like a company, it's operating? Yeah, you can run a business from a trust. Many people do that. But again, it's a preference thing. I had this debate the other day with a mate of mine, and we were talking about that. And he says, no, TJ, but I'd rather do business in my trust. Yes, that's what works for you. It's like having rice and potatoes. It's cool on its own. But rice, potatoes in a curry, yeah. Is it cooler? Yeah. But not many people would just go for rice and potatoes. Starch on starch. Come on. Doesn't make sense, you know? But it's about preference. It's about where you're going on your journey. It's about what you're also buying. It's about what you're intending it for. So there's no one answer here. And my answer could be right for me today, but could be wrong for me tomorrow. So this vehicle about the trust, I think a lot of people makes it complicated, and we all want to be told what to do. But unfortunately, the more I dig deeper into these things, nobody can tell you that. You just need to figure out your pros and your cons of your life and your family, and figure out the path that will work for you for now. Because maybe in a year's time or 2 years or maybe 5, things will change. And when they change, your trust and so on maybe will change as well. I don't know. But then again, I do say consult with people that know better. If you consult with people that know better, you are better educated. And don't be stingy in paying for fees, man. Desire TJ. We'll check you out in the next video.